Traditional Irish music today is international.
For some Irish Americans, there's a sense of identity through it. There's a sense of part of their heritage.
I didn't realize how vital and energetic and propulsive it could be.
It's definitely good to keep up the tradition. I like the diversity in the style.
What's life without art?
I became interested because my whole life growing up, we always had music playing in the house. Irish music was one of the many kinds of music that we had playing.
I knew Irish music was out there, but I was not interested until I heard that Cheatin's 2, track 1, Spanish Misfortune and Gillian's Apples, and for the first time I thought, oh my God, that sounds beautiful.
I wouldn't say that traditional music, like the kind that you'd hear in a session, jigs and reels and so forth, was a part of the fabric of my everyday life growing up, but it was in the background for sure. And so that was always kind of a part of who I was just culturally. I felt very identified with the Irish culture.
I really took to it because with classical music growing up, it was always kind of, it had to be a certain way. So going into Irish music, you had the freedom to add whatever you wanted to it and kind of make it your own. So I think that's what I like about it most, and that's what got me involved in it.
The instruments I think that you'll most often find associated with Irish music are going to be the fiddle, the flute, and probably the uilleann pipes, which is an Irish word that means elbow pipes, Irish bagpipes.
The uilleann pipes would be a very important instrument, which is a kind of a bagpipe, but it's a dry bagpipe. You don't blow into it. You use your arm. Uilleann actually means elbow in Gaelic.
Hopefully pipes, maybe accordion, and whatever else might show up, guitar player, bouzouki player. I think, for example, that you can never have too many fiddles in a session, but I think there can be such things as too many flute players in the session. I think maybe you get up to like 4 or 5 flute players, that's enough. And hopefully a good session, to be a really good session, it doesn't really need any more than about 5 or 6 or 7 musicians. I think once it begins to get above 10, it can lose kind of its cohesion. It can sort of fall apart.
I like the way it sounds together. It just has a very, I don't know how else to describe it. It just sounds really whole, like together, and it just has a good match.
It sort of depends on the level of the session. There are some sessions that are geared toward beginners that are just starting to learn a few tunes and just kind of get involved in music. Another, which is more toward what I'm involved in, is a little bit more of a collaborative spirit, where very often the players that come to the session at Fergie's, for instance, know a lot of the tunes that we're playing. Sometimes not, but often they do.
You should listen to whoever the session stalwarts are. You should listen to whatever they're doing and take your cue from them, and don't really start a tune until you're asked.
One of the reasons why I don't like, for example, going away to the festivals, and the Catskills, for example, is you go up there and there's a session of like 40 people playing at the same time. I don't like those kind of orchestral side things. I like sessions to be so close to where you can almost like smell each other, and that doesn't sound too gross.
Fergie's Pub opened in November 1994, which was a little over 21 years ago. Having a traditional Irish music session downstairs, or a ballad session, like just downstairs in the corner on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon. It's, I guess it's it's more authentic. It's more like, rather than have 4 TVs with 4 different football games on, it's just, well, it's magical. Like, you know, I mean, TV's not magical.
I love Brian Conway, who's my teacher, but that's the style that I learned.
Brian Conway being one of the best.
So that one's a really nice one. Liz Carroll's great too. I love the sound of it, everything about the sound of it, the way that different musicians interpret the sound of it as well.
Irish music is in American music anyway. I mean, the original settlers that settled along Appalachia were Scots-Irish, or Ulster Scots as we call them. So it's already there in the music. It's just an earlier wave of immigration. So bringing the traditional music of today is just bringing a later version of what those people brought with them.
Irish music allows all of us that identify with the Irish culture, whether having been born there and coming over here, or like I was born here in the United States and I've lived here almost my entire life. Regardless of whether you're one of those two people, I think Irish music allows you to connect yourself with a greater past and a greater tradition and a sense of belonging to something that has its origins many, many years ago, but continues to grow and continues to get passed on to new generations and continues to evolve.
You know, you can go to Japan, you can have a session in Tokyo, you know, you can go anywhere and have a session. You can go to Paris and find very good French musicians playing traditional Irish music. As a matter of fact, when you go to County Clare, you go to a session in Doolin, chances are you're going to be listening to Germans and Poles play traditional Irish music, and that's what used to be the heart, the mecca of Irish music, and now it's Europeans coming over to play the music in Ireland, and a lot of the tourists don't even know that sometimes they can't even speak English.
But I think for the Irish community, and we're lucky in Philadelphia to have members of the Irish community, the Plough that we're in, Fergus pub, for example, that insist that at least once a week their pub is going to resound to the sound of the native music. And without pubs like the Plough and Fergie's, we would be severely stuck for a place to play Irish music. And you see, when we come out, it spreads. People get interested. People take it up themselves.
It completely blew my mind. It was just, I had always thought of Irish music as being, something that, you heard at St. Patrick's Day, that was it.
I'm not sure if it's important as much as it just is.
Irish music become a kind of lingua franca now around the world. I mean, if you go almost anywhere in the world, you'll find a group who are playing Irish music.